Good afternoon. Thank you all for joining. We'll be giving folks a few minutes to join. Hi, good afternoon. Thank you all for joining. We're giving folks a few minutes to join. We'll be starting at 3:35. Hello, good afternoon. Thank you for joining and welcome to Navigating City Contracting Opportunities presented by Councilmember John Lee. Today, we are honored to have Councilmember Lee open the workshop by introducing the Contractor Development and Bonding Program administered by Meriwether & Williams and how it's helping small and diverse contractors bid for public projects. Carlos Ray, Assistant Client and Community Relations Manager with Meriwether & Williams Insurance Services, will present the program's core services. After the presentation, we'll hear from a contractor on how the program was able to help them get their largest contract yet. You'll also hear important information about upcoming events, construction opportunities, and the certification process from LAWA, LA DWP, and the Bureau of Contract Administration. Stick around near the end as we will have a Q&A with the panelists. Please reserve your questions for that time. Before jumping into our opening remarks by Councilmember Lee, please welcome Carlos Ray for greetings. Welcome, Carlos.
Thank you, Mildred, and good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the workshop this afternoon. As Mildred said, we have a great lineup with some wonderful information for you. So we hope that you got your pencils and paper ready to take some notes and how you can take advantage of all of these services and best position yourselves for upcoming projects. So before we get into all the great information we have for you in today's lineup, I wanted to introduce our presenter and host for this afternoon, Councilmember John S. Lee. He was first elected to the Los Angeles City Council during a special election in August of 2019 and re-elected to his first full term in March 2020. He proudly represents the communities of Northridge, Chatsworth, Porter Ranch, Granada Hills, North Hills, Sherwood Forest, and West Hills. So if you reside or operate your business in any of those communities, please put that in the chat. I'm sure he would love to see that. As a CD12 resident for over 40 years, John has found his passion for public service at an early age when he first began volunteering for local nonprofits while in middle school. A lifelong public servant, John has been serving the community his entire adult life. He's also a champion for small businesses, and as the son of a former small business owner, he believes that small businesses are critical to a robust and thriving economy in the San Fernando Valley, and continues to support policies and programs that cut bureaucratic red tape, eliminate burdensome fees, and will make Los Angeles a more business-friendly city. He's a proud graduate of Prairie Street Elementary School, Robert Frost Middle School, Granada Hills High School, and California State University, Northridge. He resides in Porter Ranch with his wife, Sheila, and their two children. Please help me in welcoming our friend and supporter, Councilmember John S. Lee.
Thank you, Carlos, and good afternoon, everyone. As Carlos said, I'm Councilmember John Lee, representing the City of Los Angeles, Council District 12. Thank you so much for attending today's workshop, Navigating City Contracting Opportunities, presented by Merriweather and Williams Insurance Services. Today, you'll have the opportunity to hear about the Contractor Development and Bonding Program, or as we know it as CDABP, services, benefits, and upcoming public contract opportunities by the city's proprietary departments. As many of you have experienced, bonding capacity is sometimes an obstacle for small and diverse contractors seeking to participate in public construction opportunities. But CDABP assists with attaining and increasing your bonding capacity. In addition to that, the program also provides training from industry experts, prime networking opportunities, and contract support, resulting hopefully in increased opportunities for you to bid on some larger public projects. The City of Los Angeles, with its Department of Public Works and our proprietary departments, the airport, DWP, and the port, are amid major multi-billion-dollar construction boom. And to add, President Biden's $2.25 trillion infrastructure proposal for transportation infrastructure, from roads, bridges to ports, airports, just adds to the amount of construction opportunities. So now it's time to hopefully, grow your business. And we hope that today's workshop will help you maximize your potential, because we count on you to play a critical role in the economic comeback. And just want to thank you and everyone else for joining us. And now I will turn it back to our host.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us, Council Member. And as you have heard from the Council Member, there are plenty of construction opportunities coming your way. So please join the program. And now to explain more of what these services entail, please welcome back Carlos Ray.
Thank you, Mildred. And again, my name is Carlos Ray. I'm an Assistant Client and Community Relations Manager here at Merriweather and Williams Insurance Services. So we'll get into talking about the Contractor Development and Bonding Program sponsored by the City of Los Angeles. So we can go to the next slide. So first we'll start about Merriweather and Williams Insurance Services. So we're a full service property and casualty insurance brokerage firm. We have dedicated construction and OSIP practice, We offer specialty programs like Sparta and prompt coverage. We're most notably known for our bonding and technical assistance programs, which we do here in LA and also in Northern California. We have offices in San Francisco, Los Angeles, and Oakland. And like many of you, we're a small woman minority-owned firm, so we're directly positioned to talk about some of the challenges and barriers that you may face as a small minority-owned business. Go to the next slide. So the purpose and mission of the contractor development and bonding program, and I'll read this because I think it's very important, to reduce the barriers of bonding capacity, enabling greater and successful participation of small, local, minority, women, and disabled veteran-owned businesses and public contract opportunities. So basically, the program was created to help small businesses get opportunities with public agencies. We do that with what we call the 4 pillars of contractor development, which we'll talk about in a little bit of detail a little bit later, but they are assessment and technical assistance, bonding and contract financing assistance, education, training, and contract support, and prime contractor partnerships. We'll get into some of that later. Next slide. So let's start with why bonding and what is bonding? So bonding is basically, it's mandated by law based on public works projects. So on the federal, you have the Hurd Act of 1894 and then the Miller Act of 1935, which kind of refined the Hurd Act and basically just says, you know, bonding needs to be required on public works projects to protect taxpayer dollars. Essentially, taxpayers are funding it, so you want to protect that against failure on different contracts. At the local and state level, you'll see Little Miller Acts. It varies by state, and the name may be different by each state, but collectively they're called Little Miller Acts, and so each state or municipality will have its own set of laws on bonding. But bonding ensures the owner receives the finished product at the negotiated price, so based on the price that was agreed upon. It ensures that all subcontractors, suppliers, vendors are paid. So if a vendor comes back and says, hey, they never paid me for the supplies that I've given, that's when your bonding, they would go after your bond to make sure that payment is taken care of. And then the good part about it is it acts as a pre-qualification instrument for your ability as a contractor. So sometimes what some of the prime contractors you may work with might do is say, hey, let me see your pre-qualification, let me see your bond capability. That will let them know what kind of projects you've done and what kind of projects you can handle. So it kind of helps you in that sense. But what is it? It's a 3-party agreement. So the 3 parties are the owner, you as the contractor, and the bonding company. And 3 things to kind of note is it does not protect you. It protects another party, usually the owner. It cannot be purchased. You have to qualify for it. And unlike insurance, it doesn't expect, there's no losses expected. So like insurance, you'll go buy insurance because something might happen. Bonding is the other way around, is like you get a bond so nothing does happen. So that's kind of a little bit about bonding. Next to the next slide. So here are some of the services we offer here with the program. Like I mentioned, we can help you obtain and increase your bonding capacity. So wherever you are in your journey as far as bonding, whether you're just starting out or you're looking to increase it from one number to another, we can help you with that. Contractor development, capacity building, and technical services. So we offer a lot of different services based on that. One of our newest programs or services that we offer is our contract financing assistance program, which I think we'll talk about on the next slide. Once you enroll in the program, you'll get a dedicated account manager or contractor development manager who will help you in your business development journey. So they'll assess where you are and kind of where you want to go and help you get there. Agency collateral support, which is a big piece of the program, and it basically helps you use agency's collateral to help you grow your capacity. So if let's just say you want to bid on a on a $500,000 project, but you're only bonded for $250,000, you can actually use the agency collateral to help you kind of make up the difference there and grow your capacity as well. Account cost subsidies. So as you grow your business, you may be asked to provide CPA prepared financial statements. As we know, and if you've done it before, these are pretty expensive. They can cost quite a lot. So the program does offer a one-time $3,200 subsidy to kind of help you offset those costs. Then I think that we can go to the next one. And then we also offer weekly bid opportunities, projects, and event email alerts. So each Wednesday we send out the LA Contractor Weekly, which has project opportunities. It has events. It has pre-bid opportunities as well that are happening in the area, so that you can kind of have a one-stop place that you'll get via your email to look at opportunities that you may be interested in. We also send out email alerts as well. So if there's a project pertaining to certain scopes of work, we'll send it out directly to those scopes of work that we have in our database. And so that way you can work with your contractor development manager and say, hey, I just got this opportunity. I'm interested in it, and they can help you, pursue it. Go to the next slide. So about the contract financing assistant program, I won't spend too much time on it because it's kind of a lot to get into, but just some things to note is you must be a small business. And what it does is it uses your contract as collateral. A lot of times some people just can't walk into a bank and get a line of credit, but they can get awarded a contract and use that as collateral, excuse me. And what it does, it helps you, it pays the bills first, then pays the lender, and then you. And so what you do is you pre-qualify for that, and you'll work with CDAP before the time that you bid on the project, because as we know, there's a lot of paperwork with things like this, and you want to make sure you give yourself enough time to be prepared for that. Let's see. Okay, and what another thing it can do is help boost your credit score. It can help you learn how to project your cash flow in your business, and it helps you improve the likelihood of getting, future capital from a traditional lender. So it can really, if you use it correctly, it can really help you set your business up for growth and more opportunities in the future. And what we also do is once you say you're interested, you'll talk to your contractor development manager. You'll say, I'm interested. They'll help you get pre-qualified. And we also have a workshop that we do just for contract financing assistance that'll walk you through everything that it entails, all the details, answer your questions, so that way you're prepared when that time comes to utilize this service. You can go to the next slide. So some of the technical assistance we offer, I think I mentioned a little bit about the assessments and work plans. So when you first enroll, we'll help you assess your business, develop that work plan of where you want to go and the best journey to get there. And then what we do is we check it along the way as different milestones you'll set, and you'll work with that contractor development manager to make sure you're hitting those goals and getting to where you want to be with your business. We have contractor profiles. So these are really great. It's a one sheet front and back. It's kind of like a marketing piece where you can have your business. It'll have maybe your logo, contact information. It'll have your bonding information. It'll have a statement of qualifications and your statement of scope of work, what your company does. And so when you're going to meet with primes or city agencies and different people, you can give them this one sheet on your business, and they can kind of get an understanding of who you are and what you do. We also offer help with certifications. So different agencies have certifications. You'll work with your CDM as well to get certified, whether you're SBE, WBE, or certified business will help you in that area as well. We also have bid document reviews, which we'll talk about in just a second. Contract completion support. We do monthly workshops and coaching. So we talk about anything from labor compliance monthly to bonding. We'll do in detail, talk about bonding. We've had marketing classes. We've talked about safety. We also offer OSHA 30 training if you're enrolled in the program. So that's some of the workshops that we do. Construction Training Academy. We actually last night just wrapped the city's bidding and estimating training academy. So it's a 5-week course that kind of really gets into how to bid and estimate on city projects. And so we'll have another one actually coming up very soon towards the end of May. That'll be one will be for Metro, but some of the same principles do apply. And then the other one is contract award and management. So it's usually the follow-up to bidding and estimating. So that takes you from, okay, I've been awarding a contract. Now what do I do? How do I manage it all the way through closeout? And that leads me to our prime partnership program. So what we do with our training academies is we actually reach out to some of the bigger GCs like your Skanskas, your PCLs, your Swinnertons, those types of companies, and have them send their lead estimators or, their project managers or, different people that do this every day with city agencies to come teach these different courses from week to week over 5 or 6 weeks. And that they're able to answer questions, they're able to provide their expertise and what they've seen works best. What they also do is tell you their pre-qualification process, if there is one, how to get work with them also. And we've seen actually some partnerships develop out of that from just people attending these academies, building relationships, and ultimately being chosen to do work on some projects. So it's pretty great if you take advantage of the opportunity. Go to the next slide. So in addition to all that, we also offer field support for services. So one of the first things we do, oh, sorry, you can go back one. One of the first things we do is, oh, sorry, go back one more, I think, is a bid document review. So what we, in this process, we'll attend the pre-bid with you. We're usually there anyway. We'll help you review the contract. We'll have a project manager on our team who's been in the business for 30 years or more that will help you review the plans and specs and help you identify any risks that might come up in the project, help you identify required bid documents to help you do a final bid. So before you submit it, we'll help you do a final bid document review. And a post bid debrief, which is basically if you don't get the project, what happened, where did you go wrong? One thing to note about the bid document review is that we can't help you figure out what number is the right number to put down. So we don't talk about numbers because we don't want you to bid and then come back and say, oh, I didn't get it because you told me to put an 8, or you told me to bid higher than I should have bid. And so we don't do that, but we can ask you questions to kind of make sure you're considering all the information that may need to be included in your bid. You can go to the next slide. So as far as our contract support, once you're awarded the contract and you get ready to start work, we'll do a project kickoff meeting with all the parties involved to make sure, we understand the scope of work, we understand who is doing what, we understand the schedule and everything that's going to go in to the project. We also do monthly status reports where we'll check in with you. We'll look at the billings and payments to make sure everything is, lines up. We'll look at the schedule to make sure everything's on schedule and how we can help in that area. We'll do a site visit. So we'll look at your safety and how everything is going actually on site. We help you with your change order log reviews. So we'll make sure that, you're filing change orders on time. So that way you don't end the project, with a bunch of open change orders, but hopefully, we can get them closed in a timely fashion. And then we'll give you support all the way through closeout. So we don't just, offer these services and say, hey, you got the project, good job, good luck. We're there to walk with you each step of the way. Go to the next slide. And I think that's it. Okay, so great. So that was just an overview of the contractor development and bonding program. You might be asking, well, how much does it cost? It's totally free. Our sponsors, including the city of Los Angeles, actually fund this program to help small and diverse contractors get work with them. They want you to do work, as the council member said. They want you to come participate. And so they've installed this program and allowed us to administer it to help you. So if you're interested in enrolling or just have more questions, feel free to give us a call or email us, and we'll be happy to work with you and get you information on the program.
Thank you so much, Carlos, for that excellent presentation. There was a lot of information covered, and there will be even more information as we hear from the proprietary departments. So we will be providing a copy of the presentation and a recording of the webinar to all attendees, just so you know. All right. So we have a contractor in the program who took advantage of the services that Carlos was just presenting, and he secured the bonding he needed for a project. So let's hear his story.
Squeezing it in.
Sorry about that. It appears like we're having technical difficulties. Pardon me, sorry, oh. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. It looks like we are having technical difficulties. So as soon as this loads, we'll proceed with our presentation. Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for your patience. So we're going to jump into our panelists. What I'll do is I'll send the video in the welcome, or excuse me, the thank you email. So you'll be able to still hear Ernie Moreno's story and get from that a lot of very useful information. So what we have at the moment is a presentation from Annabelle Barragan. She is manager of Community Economic Impact Team. Welcome, Annabelle.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Thank you, Meriwether, and thank you, 3D Network, for inviting me to present. We're doing some exciting things at the airport. I am the manager of the Community Economic Impact Team, and this has been, you know, it's if anyone has been traveling in or out of the airport, you are seeing that we're going through a $30 billion transformation. Next slide, please. Right now, the capital improvement program began in 2018. We're calling it phase 1 of our $15 billion construction program. There are 105 total projects that are currently under the phase 1 of our program. 42 have been closed, 28, substantially are complete, and there are 35 active LAWA projects. And so if all of you who come in and you're looking at the airport and you're seeing our automated people mover, that it falls under the LAMP project. And under that, we have approximately about 35 active LAWA projects. Next slide. So again, under our transformation, these are some of the major things that, these are renderings that you can take, gives you a snapshot of how the completion, or when the projects are complete, how it's going to look. You are going to see the automated people mover, the midfield satellite concourse, our LA economy parking lot, our United Terminals 7 and 8 that are underway, the Conrack project, and the airport facility. The airport facility is completed, but we have won actual awards for the design and the architecture, and it's just been it's just a beautiful facility. Next slide, please. So going into phase 2 of our 2022 capital improvement program is another $15 billion worth of work coming down the pipeline. We have the AT&P that has been awarded to Skanska and Flatiron. And then we're having Concourse 0, Terminal 9, the roadways, the airfields. We are moving forward with our cargo modernization, our terminal development, the landside access modernization program, which is the APM and Conrack, which we're still finalizing. We're almost to complete. The land improvements, landscaping, wayfinding, and we're going to be there's going to be work at the Van Nuys and Palmdale Airport. Next slide. And so here is another shot of where all the work is. Unfortunately, I can't point to where it's at, but if you look here, I wish I had a pointer. It shows how big our campus is at the airport, all the roadways, the Terminal 9 parking. We're having a huge event tomorrow. We already have 1,200 people registered tomorrow at the Sheraton Hotel. There's people flying in, and I'll go into more detail, but Terminal 9 is Concourse 0, and there's just so much work underway at the airport. Next slide. Again, here, some work has been completed on the airfield improvement program, but then there's also other work on the taxi lane. There's opportunities here as well. Just giving you a high overview of the possibilities of working here at the airport, what is going on in our procurements. Next slide. We have our GEM, our Terminal 9. This is we're calling it our flagship, our GEM. People are flying in internationally to want to work on this particular project. When people come to LAX, people are going to realize that it's more than, the pylons that you see when you come into the airport. This is going to be, next slide, please. It's going to be approximately 1.4 million. I want to say it's actually 1.4 million square feet. You're going to have 18 narrow bodyways, gates, parking structures, 550 spaces, the APM station, domestic and international baggage claim, security checkpoints. We're going to have an FIS and sterile corridor for international arrivals, a really robust lounge and concessions program, and also an area for non-sterile pedestrian and connectivity to our existing Terminal 8. Hopefully there's still time to register if it's not closed, but it is going to be tomorrow. And at the end, hopefully that someone can forward you all that at the end of this presentation, so that if you want to sign up and attend tomorrow's event, you're still welcome to. Next slide. So we have Concourse 0. Here's a big overview. As you can see at the bottom corner of the left, if anyone has trying to get, an Uber or, trying to find your way out of the airport through an Uber, If you see that area, it is going to be demolished. It is going to be the future site of the Concourse Zero. So if there's anyone here who's interested, who is in the field of construction, whether you're engineers or, workers, there are opportunities here. This is going to be the extension of Terminal 1. Just looking at it, you can just see the enormity in the size of this project. We're going to have new domestic international bus gates, domestic baggage claim devices, state of the art. We really are making changes here at the airport. Next. And also, for those of you who are into concessions, going back to the previous slide, there's going to be concession opportunities here at the airport. So we're going to expand that as well, because when we expand our airports, you're going to need concessionaires to be a part of that as well. Next slide. So our cargo modernization, here's a rendering. Next slide, please. So our cargo is, as you can see, it's pretty old and it just can't function. We're, one of the largest cargos in the world, and we're the 8th busiest cargo hub with 2.9 million tons in 2021, and 3 cargo areas covering a total of 261 acres of land. And there's going to be, 27 existing buildings totaling 2.6 million square feet of floor area. And so being the hub that we are and competing with, other international world hubs, LAWA is looking forward in expanding. This has been in the pipeline for years, and we're finally here at the finish line where it's going to be awarded. And you can see all the changes, whether on Century, Imperial East Cargo. So there are going to be a lot of changes. Next slide. Signage and wayfinding. So the reason why all of this is very important is that the airport is preparing for the Olympics. We're preparing for the 2028 Olympics and also for the, excuse me, the 2024 World Cup. People are coming in, flying internationally to our airport. So what we have is signage and wayfinding. We have a really great team here that previously worked at SFO that is going to deliver a series of new signage and wayfinding improvements throughout LAX. It's more than just the interior of the airport, it's also the exterior. There's people that are flying in that don't, can't read, but can understand the international sign and know which way and which direction. It's going to be an intuitive guest experience navigating through our LAX campus. We're going to have virtual gateways, the MPA, the roadways, the parking, the curbsides, all concessions and gates. This is all part of our development of an airport-wide implementation and prioritization plan for all signage upgrades within the airport. It's an exciting time. Super graphics, dynamics, digital, architectural elements. It's going to be all part of wayfinding. And I actually happen to sit next to the team that is delivering that. So it's exciting times. Next slide, I'm sorry. So for those of you who are in the PMCM business, we do have our multiple award task order contract opportunities. And if you look, here's the schedule. It's a snapshot. It could shift. These are estimated dates, but they are coming up quickly. There's going to be planning and design, our program services, environmental planning services, construction, different delivery methods, and most importantly, multiple awards with small business participation. So take a snapshot of that schedule. That's a very important update. Next slide. And also speaking about the ATMP and the enabling projects, we have our roads projects, our North Airfield program, our South Airfield program, our Concourse 0, 9, LAMP. These are all our enabling projects that are some that are about to start and those that are in the middle of going in phase 3 under the RU project. And that is being done by Skanska and Flatiron. Next slide. And For those of you throughout these presentations, you will be hearing this repeatedly. If you are not registered with RAMP, now's an opportunity to get registered with the RAMP. This is the only way you're really going to access those opportunities to learn about what's upcoming. And feel free to register if you haven't. Next slide. And so our economic impact team. So I am the manager of this team. This is an important program for the airport. You know, that we are very much involved in making sure that there is an economic impact, specifically in the inclusivity and workforce development areas. We want to make sure that when you hear the word XBE participation, what that is saying is that we want small, diverse, local, micro, women-owned, minority-owned businesses to be a part of our program. We are writing very strong procurement language within our procurements to ensure that these are not just goals, but they are requirements. We're asking, and we're actually telling our developers and our contractors that if you're working with Lawwell, you will have a mentor protege program. You will be partnering with the community. You are going to increase the capacity of our small businesses, and you're going to utilize local workforce to make sure that whatever you're building here within the LAX area, our campus, that you're utilizing local workers. And we have our very well recognized Hire LAX apprenticeship program, which is a pre-apprenticeship program that creates a pipeline into making a career in constructions with the local trade unions. We have an internship program, and we have language within our procurements to ensure that there is, again, participation of our local workers. Next slide. So before I wrap this up, I just want to, I see in the chat, thank you, Vivian, for putting the Eventbrite. You may want to click on that or register for tomorrow's event. You know, if you come and you want to speak to me, I will be there. I'm open to questions, and I thank Meriwether again and 3D for asking me to participate in this session. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Annabelle. And like mentioned previously, we will be taking questions towards the end of the presentations, so please stick around for that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And now we have from LADWP, Julie Huang. She is management analyst with her department, and she'll be speaking on how to do business with LADWP. Welcome, Julie.
Hey, good evening, everyone. Thank you for the introduction. Again, my name is Julie Wong. I'm from the Supplier Diversity Office at LADWP, and I'm just going to give you a brief overview of how to do some business with LADWP. Next slide, please. So a little bit about LADWP. We're the largest municipal water and power utility in the nation, and we serve around 4 million residents and businesses in Los Angeles. We award over $1.2 billion in contracts for goods and services in 2020. So we do have a lot of contracting opportunities and subcontracting opportunities. Next slide, please. So we have two methods of contracting, and these are the two competitive solicitation methods that we use. One is the invitation for bid. It's typically used for construction projects, materials, equipment, rentals, and non-professional services. Now, invitation for bids are sometimes referred to as low bid or sealed bid solicitations, and there's no exceptions for these type of bids. The bid must conform to all the terms and conditions and specifications of the IFB to be awarded. These type of awards are awarded to the lowest priced, responsive and responsible bidder. So these pretty much, if you give exactly what the IFB asks for and you are capable of meeting the price, the lowest price bid will win the IFB. And for the request for proposals, these are slightly different. These typically are used for professional, expert technical, or other complex services. These kind of include the design build constructions. So for RFPs, they have a predetermined evaluation criteria, such as technical management and past experience, as well as a cost factor. Now, this is kind of more like a grading card type of evaluation. There's some components that are pass or fail, and others are actually scored. So for this type of procurement, the exceptions may be allowed and negotiations may be made during this procurement process. So this type of procurement is a little bit more fluid than the invitation for bid. And the award is to the highest scoring proposer based on the different components that are in the evaluation. So whoever scores the highest after all of the different components are scored gets the award. Okay, next slide, please. So all of LADWP's opportunities are registered in RAMP LA, and Annabelle went over RAMP LA a little earlier, but all of our contracting opportunities are open in RAMP LA. So if you haven't registered yet, I highly recommend you to make sure that you register and that your profile is complete. That way you can actually pull up all of the contracting opportunities for all of the city of LA, not just LADWP, but every department in the city of LA. And also make sure you create a unique user profile to be automatically notified of new postings. Once you're registered, you can download the documents associated with the posted opportunities. Next slide, please. So for LADWP, we have a SBE DVB participation program. It applies to most contracts over 150,000 for services, construction, and rental with operators. It's a contract-specific mandatory SBE and or DVB participation requirement, and it's set at as a percentage of the contract. And once you pull up the contract, you'll have the mandatory minimum requirement in the RFP or the IFB. And for the bidders who do not meet the minimum mandatory SBE or DVB participation requirement, they will be deemed non-responsive. So please make sure that when you do bid, you make sure to meet that requirement that's listed in the IFB or the RFP. As just an overall annual goal, LADWP's SBE participation program is 25% and 3% DVB participation program participation. Okay, next slide, please. So all of LADWP's opportunities are listed in our supply line. The bottom of the slide gives you the link to our supply line magazine. It's only online, so there's no hard copies currently, but in the magazine, they will give you a 18-month look ahead of all the upcoming opportunities from LADWP before it even hits RAP LA. So please make sure to check that out. The newest edition is actually April, so it should be released today. If you want to check it out, make sure to make a copy of that link and check it out from that site. Our opportunities are broken down by 3 sections. It's going to be water, joint, and power. So if you're looking for a specific type of contract, you can search through the magazine that way. And in the magazine, it'll give you a targeted advertising date and about the estimate of how much a contract will cost. So that targeted advertising date is the day that it will be released on RAMP LA. So it kind of gives you a heads up on when to search for that project if you are interested in it. Next slide, please. So if you have any additional questions or any questions regarding a specific contract or opportunity in the supply line, just please make sure you can email us at supplierdiversityoffice@ladwp.com or the LADWP Vendor Liaison Center, and we'll be happy to help you out with regards to that. And the LADWP Vendor Liaison Center is, the email is purchasingbids@ladwp.com. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Julie, for that wonderful information. And now we have Jiang Jiang. She's certification analyst with BCA. She's going to talk a little bit more about how to get certified. Welcome, Jiang.
Hi, thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Jane Jiang. I'm a certification analyst working for the City of LA and Public Works Bureau of Contract Administration. Yes, please register in the RAMP LA so you can get all the opportunities open to the prime contractor and or the project also. And yes, and you can apply the certifications in the RAMP also. Next slide, please. So I'm here to talk about our certification programs available. We have ownership-based certifications, minority business enterprise MBE. It must have at least 51% owned and controlled by one or more minority, and a woman-owned business enterprise (WBE), at least 51% owned and controlled by one or more women. Disadvantaged business enterprise (DBE), at least 51% owned and controlled by one or more socially and economically disadvantaged individuals, and subject to business income and personal net worth size standard. An airport concession disadvantaged business enterprise (ACDBE), at least 51% owned and controlled by one or more socially and economically disadvantaged individuals, subject to business income and personal net worth size standard. Firm must provide service and products that benefits the traveling public. And we also have disabled veteran business enterprise, Los Angeles World Airports, DVBE LAWA, at least 51% owned and controlled by a certified disabled veteran, and who are presumed disadvantaged groups. You can see on the right side of this slide: woman, Black American, Hispanic American, Native American, Asian Pacific American, subcontinent Asian American. And what does it mean to have control? It has to have the expertise in the company core business and is in possession of the license and credentials required to conduct the firm's business, and must be an independent for-profit business. Next slide, please. Now we also have the location-based certifications, and the business must headquartered in Los Angeles County, according to the Ordinance 1871-21, effective August 7th, 2021. Establish the local business preference program, LBPP, that includes 3 current certification programs: LBE, local business enterprise, headquarters physical location, and the LSB, local small business, formerly the small local business. Previous year's gross income must be less than $5 million. And LTE, local transitional employer, formerly TJOP, Transitional Job Opportunity Program. The LBPP application and the renewal form is available from a registered form account in the rampla.org. So make sure that you send the application in the rampla. Okay, next slide, please. And we also have the recognition-based programs. Small business enterprise, proprietary, used by DWP, LAWA, POLA. If not current certification, if no current certification, get a hard copy application from our BCA website. And the Small Business Enterprise Los Angeles, certified by the California Department of General Service, or as the local small business by CLA. Emerging Business Enterprise EBE, certified micro small business by the California Department of General Service, or as local small business by CLA. And the Disabled Veteran Business Enterprise, DVBE, certified by the California Department of General Service, and the LGBTEE, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender enterprise, certified by the National LGBTE Chamber of Commerce, NGLCC, that's the website. Okay, next slide, please. And how to apply. Although eventually you have to apply online for all the applications, but right now we still have some paper applications. So for online applications, we have DBE, ACDBE. So you will, those for the firms headquartered in the County of Los Angeles. So please apply at californiaucp.dbesystem.com. And all for the LBE, LSB, LTE, apply to the rampla.org, and DVB LAWA apply to rampla.org, and LBE Harbor also apply through the rampla.org. And for MBE, WBE, SBE proprietary, please submit your application by paper application. So those applications you can find from our website, bca.lacity.org. Next slide, please. And this slide shows you the website for those applications. Yeah, next slide, please. And this is the interagency certification recognition. It shows you all the links you can find and the guidelines. And next slide, please. Okay, so this one also shows the interagency certification recognition links, or the website links and the guidelines also. And next slide, please. And if you have more questions, please email to our bca.certifications@lacity.org. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jeanne, for all of this wonderful information. And so you'll be, folks, you'll be receiving this presentation for you to study, but I also encourage you to reach out and take advantage of the contractor development managers that are available to help you make sense of what you've heard today. So please study each slides that you saw today, but also reach out for help to help navigate through all of this information and how to make the best use for it. So now we've come to our Q&A section of the webinar, and please use Zoom's Q&A function to send your questions. We'll give folks a few minutes to type in their questions if there are any, and we'll do our best to try and answer them all. So it looks like Rick Bieber has a question. Julie, would you like to answer that live? I know you're typing an answer.
Hi, yes, I was just asking if you can send that question to that purchasingbids@ledwp.com. I have to look into that. I don't have that answer on the top of my head, but if you send that question to purchasing bids, I'll look into that and respond via email to you guys. So I'll
Perfect.
send the email over.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We have a question from Sterling Watson Engineering, and this might be for Carlos. When are the classes for bidding and estimating, date, location, and how to register?
Yes, so the next ones I think we have scheduled for late May. We haven't announced it yet, so I don't have the particular dates. But once you enroll, you'll speak with your contractor development manager, and they'll make sure you're up to date and receive the information. But usually, how we register is through Zoom. And most of the time, I think this year we're going to be doing hybrid. So the first and last class will be in person, and then the middle three will be on Zoom.
Thank you, Carlos. So there you have it. You register with the program, and your contractor development manager will keep you up to date with anything happening in the program, and that includes the bidding and estimating class with all the relevant information. And we have a question from Zoric Jones. When is the next seminar? We have a seminar on April 26th, and we'll send information, more information regarding that seminar in our thank you email. So you'll receive everything, all the information. And we have a question from Corey Horton. How do I get involved? I'm already certified. Do you have a contact person? Thank you, Corey, for your question. We will get you in touch with a contractor development manager who will be able to guide you through the registration process in the program. All right, perfect. So it concludes our webinar. And for closing remarks, please welcome back Carlos Ray.
Thank you so much, Mildred. And thank you, everyone, for being here this afternoon and listening to all this great information that's available to you and all the free resources and things that you can take utilization of when growing your business. I did want to answer one question that was in the Q&A chat. The Prime partnership is kind of an ongoing thing, so there's no date or time to it. It kind of just goes with the program. Every Prime does not have one. It's just ones that we are able to work with. We would like to use everyone, but not everyone is a part just of yet. So we're always adding new Primes to that list. So Sterling Watson Engineering, thank you so much for your question. But yeah, just thank you all for being here. Some great information today. Thank you to Councilmember John Lee for supporting the program and being with us today and offering his time. I know he has a busy schedule, but he's took a few minutes to chat with us today. So thank you for his support. And we look forward to working with you at the Contractor Development and Bonding Program. If not, we hope you are able to work with some of the agencies that you heard here today. Please feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions. I believe a copy of this presentation will be supplied to everyone here. So thank you again, and hope you have a great rest of your evening. And we'll see you on April 26th.